Yes, we're in Kuni. Over Satan power. Desire in Kuni. I'm an overcomer. I say yes, we're in Kuni. Yes, we're in Kuni. Over Satan power. Desire in Kuni. I'm an overcomer. I'm a dinner. Come into Hosanna. Hosanna. I can forget all. Hosanna. Jesus, urban. Hosanna.
That's a radio guy.
Come into Hosanna. Hosanna. Jesus, urban. Hosanna. I mean, you know I'm born to say. Hosanna. Jesus, urban. Hosanna. Who is this King of glory? He's the Lord strong and mighty. Yes, we can call him all. See, I'm an overcomer. Listen, no weapon fashioned against me shall prosper. For the greater one lives in me, yes, he does. Yes, yes, we can call him all. See, I'm an overcomer. I say, yes, we can call him. Yes, we can call him. How is it? Over Satan power. Desire in Kuni. See, I'm an overcomer. I'm an overcomer. I say, yes, we can call him. Yes, we can call him. Over Satan power. Desire in Kuni. I'm an overcomer.
This is how we start our morning show, the Rise Up Morning Show.
I am fully normal. Hosanna. Jesus normal. Hosanna. I am fully normal. Hosanna. One year to Hosanna. Hosanna. I mean, I won't bother say. Hosanna. Jesus normal. Hosanna. I am fully normal. Hosanna.
This is how we start our morning show. Good music. Hosanna by Koda. What we are starting with. It's time for us to say Hosanna to your maker. Lovely good morning to you. Welcome to Radio Guy Online. Streaming live on the Facebook Radio Guy Online. Also at YouTube Radio Guy Online. This is the Rise Up Morning Show. All set already to bring you really good trending news.
I am fully
Part of it all is trending.
Hey.
It's a brouhaha between the MPP and the NDC over the recently launched manifesto by the National Democratic Congress. Also,
handkerchief. One year to Hosanna.
great people saying some of these things, whether they are implementable, whether they are just empty campaign promises.
Just
We're
urban.
going to be looking into that. We also have, as usual, the newspapers that we will be getting into. If you are watching me live on Facebook, welcome, and this is how we say good morning to you.
Sweating good.
This is real music right here. My name is Judith MFA Igbafen. Of course, I'm locked down in the studio with Evans AJ, who never fails to join us. Happy newspaper review. Don't forget, you can leave your comments down below on our Facebook Live. We will be able to read them all for you. We are going to be talking good and deep politics, and also we're going to be looking at some of the highlights of the National Democratic Congress 2020 elections manifesto that they call the People's Manifesto. We're going to be looking at some of the highlights and whether some of these things are implementable or not. And before that, a big good morning. If you are tuning in, if you are also listening to us via YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and also turn on your notifications because we live play good music. We bring it right here to you.
Hosanna, Hosanna, Jesus, Hosanna. I mean, you know, I'm born to say Hosanna, Jesus, Hosanna.
We live in an era where money basically buys everything. People say that money buys everything. Money buys love. Money buys whatsoever. Because of that, there is this craze in town, or there is this craze among the youth that money is the most paramount thing. Yes, we all do anything because of money. We all wake up in the morning to go to our daily jobs because of money. There are things in life that money can never buy. Maybe you are one of these people that think that money buys everything, and with money you would be able to buy basically everything. But today, take a moment with me and let us look at some of these things that money cannot buy. Don't let anybody lie to you that money can buy anything. Yes, it could buy some of these things temporary, but have you ever thought about having these things in your life and you going broke and you still having them? Well, some of these things are some of the values you can actually watch out for, look out for, if you are inviting people in your life, or if you are inviting people to stay in your life. Some of these things are what you should be looking out for. People love you because of your money. People get attracted because of your money. But ask yourself, can this money keep them? Can your morals keep them? Whatever you have that money cannot provide, keep them. Stay right with me. Let's look at some of the 10 things that money can never buy. First on my list is manners. Manners is something that money cannot buy. How you were brought up, how you react to certain things, how you don't react to certain things. Something that money cannot buy whatsoever. I hear people say that we also only see can ask and see whatsoever. Money is something that can never buy manners. Money is also something that can never buy morals. Whether you have good morals or not, money or being rich or being wealthy shouldn't be a parameter that you should display it or not. Because money cannot buy that. Respect, character, common sense, trust, patience, class, integrity, and love is something that money cannot buy. Let us to take a good look at what class is. Now, most women always think that because they are dressed in the most fashionable dresses, most expensive designers, they think that they look classy and they feel classy. But the truth is, classiness is never determined by the amount of jewelries or the amount of clothes you wear, how expensive it is, designerish it is. Money can never buy that. The way you do act in these clothes is what says a lot. They speaks volume. You are looking out some of these things, whether you are looking for a partner, whether you are looking for new people to hang out with as friends, or whether you are looking at basically putting up some level in your life, these are some of the things that you should be looking out for. After that, we are here. We're going to be serving you some of the most trendiest sports news. Prince is going to come in later. So we are done with our daily newspaper review. Tell you what is trending. trending in the world of sports. Also, don't forget that John Dramani Mahama also never forgot the sports industry in his manifesto that he calls the People's Manifesto, and also some of the promises that he also made. So today on Ghanaian Times and also on the Daily Graphic, we have 2020 Manifesto War. NPP accuses NDC of copy. And also we have a beautiful picture of President Akufo-Addo and John Dramani Mahama on the front page. And also Dr. Bawumia has been really trending on social media as he provided shelter for Madam Dari Pongo, who is a leper, who was actually photographed living in a very dilapidated building, and the vice president, Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia, provided her with shelter. We have details of that story also, and also we have dangerous robber transferred to Tema. On the front page, and it can be found on page 12, and also Rollins missing at NDC Manifesto. And also on the Ghanaian Times, we have government praises frontline workers, others for commitment, sacrifices towards conquering diseases, a fight against COVID-19. And we have, of course, the Honorable Mr. Kojo Opon Nkrumah, the Information Minister, beautifully on the Ghanaian Times. And also Dr. Patrick Kuma Abwaje says polio vaccination of children takes off in 8 regions tomorrow. And also Ghana records 143 new cases, and also active cases dropped from 856 to 831 with 283 deaths. And also at the back page, we have Center to Enhance Business Growth in Rural Areas inaugurated in Setre South, and Chereponi district cut off from the rest of their northeast due to flooding. And also we have that and many more coming in. But before that, let's say good morning to Mr. Christopher inside the Hills Pharmaceuticals for tuning in. As usual, being with us, join us on our live feed on the Facebook, and also don't forget to share our live video so other people can also benefit from it. Don't forget that on YouTube too, you can catch us live. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also share all of these good news with your friends. Also, a big shout out to Sifa Mina on Facebook. If you are tuned in, don't forget that you can leave your messages down below. We will read them for you. Evans is in the studios with me, and without much time, let's get into today's newspapers. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
At least, I always look forward to see your pretty face. To see your pretty face all the time. Thank you for joining us. How was your day?
It's been good.
And how was your night?
Night, not really so well because I couldn't sleep well. But I'm fine. And once we are alive, like we always say, if you have life, you have everything. So we're looking forward to a good day today.
Okay.
I'm sure you are fine as well.
I'm okay. I'm good. I'm not really, my voice is a little bit patchy today, but life is all we need. Life is all we need. Yes. Sifa Mina inside Ekropon says she's watching you live from Ekropon. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as usual, we get into newspaper review segment. And I mean, the NDC manifesto launched on a Monday. It was quite not what I was expecting. Well, but a couple of people have been reacting to it. What is your general overview of what they call the People's Manifesto?
Well, for a very long time, our political parties do come up with manifestos and all that. And this one is no exception from what we have been seeing previously, or what they have been, giving us previously. To me, I am so much disappointed because our political parties, like I always say, are disappointing us. This manifesto, for instance, talking of legalization of Okada, talk of all these other things they want to do. These are not the things that we need as a country. We need to start from somewhere before we get to somewhere. So it shouldn't be like, I mean, because we want to win elections, we just throw anything at the people, and because some people also do not read, they just follow blindly and they want to vote for them. Actually, I think this is a manifesto just to lure people to vote for them. Some of the things are not even achievable.
Now let's look at some of the things that the MPP actually have been saying. They highlighted a couple of things, and overall, I mean, we were definitely expecting a reaction from them. But on the front page of the Daily Graphic today, they say that NPP accuses NDC of copy. I don't know how much.
Yes, I mean that's exactly what I said. It looks like the manifesto that NDC is giving us is exactly the opposite of what the MPP has given us, because it looks like when they say this, then the NDC will also say, okay, we will do the opposite. So I don't think this is a well planned. Though they are saying they used 8 months to put this manifesto together.
It was a 21 member
committee that sat on this to
bring
put
it
this thing
together.
together. And then they're also saying they went around to places, to regions and all that to get the views of people, including mates, and they said a whole lot of
I mean,
things.
it showed that. I mean,
But no, you see, you know something. You go to these people, they tell you their problems. You know, Ghanaians, they tell you their problems, but that is not what is going to develop us. We need to do the right things, the basics. We need to get those things right before we even be talking about coming to legalize Okada and all that. We have a poor transport system and all that. If these things are really good, we wouldn't be talking about.
Well, I don't know if it's a good thing, but it looks like Ghanaians are into temporary problem solving. I am that particular person that I would want to cut or I would want to uproot a problem, so that it doesn't reoccur again. And that is what both the MPP and the NDC they've been giving us. They've been giving us temporary solutions to our problems. Everybody is looking at a way where they can get more vote. But I feel personally that if we have a national agenda, it would have been much more precise for these political parties to bring out details into some of these promises that they do give us. Now, there were a couple of things that former President John Dramani Mahama actually said. His entrance was quite a grand one. He came in with one of my favorite gospel songs. I don't know how much real he is, but definitely he's asking. Now let's look at some of the highlights from the NDC. They said that they are going to be extending maternity leave to 4 months. They are also going to be giving 7-day paternal leave to fathers. That, coming from the feminine perspective, I think is a very good thing, because at times, not at times, all the time during pregnancy and during childbirth and all that, fathers also do play their role. And I think combining these particular rules with some other things makes it quite difficult for them. And also notable amongst them was free tertiary education for persons with disability, and also he says free primary care health for all. And when we talk about the primary health care, the VP for John Dramani Mahama, Nana, also said that they are going to be free medical charges for rape victims. That I think is a good thing. And also, what I really found difficult to understand was tax exemption and support for SMEs, and also the legalization and the regulation of Okada for safety and job creation. I don't know how Okada is going to be regulated for safety, because already, according to the MTTU, Okada is the #1 cause of road accidents on
Yeah.
since last
Yeah.
year and this year, and also they call something the big push that they say they are going to be creating 10 million jobs and jobs and prosperity. They are going to scrap import duties. They are going to look at 1 million jobs, not 10 million jobs, and also
And 1
pay
million, the
all.
1 million jobs is their first term. That's what they are saying.
Yes, their first term, and also they are going to be looking at paying all affected people of collapsed banks and all that. And also, and you know, when they say collapsed banks, these comes this comes into mind where he said it is not necessary for banks to have 400 million as as a standby money for whatsoever, just like the way the Bank of Ghana demands. So that means he is going to go into the constitution of the Bank of Ghana, and he is going to be probably amending things. And also he says he is going to pay fully depositors of collapsed financial institutions in 2021. That is his first step. Now, amongst all of these, which one sounds implementable to you?
Some of these things, I mean, maybe talk of maternity leave, increasing it to 4 months. That one, it is achievable. But then the Okada too, I am very sure they will do it, because I have said that they are looking at, I mean, trying to get more votes from people. To me, it seems to me like the NDC is trying to pick on issues to put together as their manifesto. So people are calling for legalization of Okada, and they are saying, okay, we are going to do it, forgetting the fact that these Okada and other stuff cause accidents and all that, which is going to cause the country more problems in the future. So, I mean, the Okada too, I'm very sure they will do it. And then they also said what they are going to scrap law banning salvaged vehicles. I mean, we know that they have said the MPP have brought up this law that is saying that salvaged vehicles are not going to be
Imported
into the country anymore, and they said they are going to scrap that one. I'm sure they will do that one too. It's attainable. But then they also said tax incentives to landlords to reduce rent advance. I mean, the MPP is saying that they are going to give loans to people to go and rent. Let's say they give you a 2-year money that you are going to use to
national service.
you are going to rent for 2 years, and then you'll be paying it bit by bit to them. The NDC has given us the opposite of that. They are saying they are going to give tax incentives to landlords so that can help in reduction of rent advance. I mean, some of their things are, but to me, like I said, these are not the things that are important. We have to start from somewhere as a country. We need to look at the sector or where it is most important to cause change and other. For example, this rent issue, why can't we have a national consensus where we are going to have housing units to help people to get a place to lay their heads, rather than talking about some of these things? We have existing laws even governing rent issues and all that in this country. They are not looking at those things, but then they are looking at the flashy ones that will sound good in people's ears just to get themselves the votes that they need.
Do you think the People's Manifesto has been able to convince government as to whether the NDC is the right party to lead us?
Well, many people, for example, excuse this word, but many people do not read. Even how many people understand some of the things? The manifesto, about 190 something pages. How many people have gotten a copy of the manifesto to go through themselves? Now, I think it is a constant. Even, like NDC and MPP, they have constant followers. They do not understand the issues. And I tell you, it is not about, currently people are saying it's not even about manifesto and all that. It is about what you have done, what you are showing, like the infrastructure things that they are talking about. That is what is going to win them the elections. As for the manifesto,
Okay, so if you are tuned in listening to us on Facebook and YouTube, please leave in the comments down below. whether the People's Manifesto by the NDC, led by John Dramani Mahama, has been able to convince you to vote for them. Leave in the comments down below, so we'll read your messages and your comments live on here, on air for you. But thank you for that view. Now let's get into the daily guide, talking about the NDC copying the manifesto of the MPP. And now on the front page, the biggest story: the ruling MPP accuses NDC of copy. Now the ruling New Patriotic Party has started punching holes into the manifesto that the People's Manifesto, Jobs, Prosperity and More, launched by the opposition National Democratic Congress and NDC on Monday night ahead of the December 2020 general elections. And they have also, now after a series of postponement of its manifesto, the NDC finally launched the version of its social contract with the people. Now the MPP is saying that some of the things the MPP captured were copied from its manifesto titled Leadership of Service, Protecting Our Progress and Transforming Ghana, for launched earlier proposed on August 22nd. Now there has been a couple applauded for making a leper smile again, and the headline of the story reads: Bawumia makes leper smile. Now Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has made good his promise of housing Madam Dari Pongo, an 82-year-old cured leper who was abandoned by her family at Motori in the Wa West district in the Upper West region. Now the Vice President heard about the old woman's predicament on airwaves and proceeded to reverse her sorry state. Now the outcome of which is a 2-bedroom house he put up, finished and presented to her yesterday. And also sad news just below that story: 6 persons, including a 4-year-old boy, have lost their lives in a gory accident which occurred on Tuesday morning in the eastern region. And the sad incident happened at Amanase at a spot called Nana Kwesi JC Junction near Suhum on the Accra to Kumasi Highway. Now the speeding VVIP bus with registration number GL 52714, carrying about 43 passengers, reportedly had its steering wheel locked, and the driver allegedly attempted to apply the brakes, but in the process the vehicle veered off the road and crashed. Now according to the police MTTU, all the victims died on spot, whilst others suffered serious injuries and were rushed to the Suhum Government Hospital. And there was also a story down below: Rawlings missing at NDC manifesto. And also in the middle part of the paper, we also have some entertainment news as well that is connoted to politics. NDC do the right thing. Wolasi jabs Mahama and the NDC, and government receives $1.3 million to fight degradation. And also on the front, on the 10th page 10 says Amas 94 support alma mater. And also Ministry of Health gets support from the World Health Organization. Now the World Health Organization Ghana office has presented 55 oxygen concentrators and 1.8 million nasal swabs and virus transport medium kit and 12 packages of nucleic acid extraction kit to the Ministry of Health. Now the package was worth $122,000, is to support the country's COVID-19 response and sample collection, laboratory diagnosis of the virus, and the management of severe COVID-19 cases. And also on the page 11, we have issuance of emergency visas, resumes, and chiefs to lead COVID-19 war. And we also have Kofi Mole in the entertainment segment, where he says that I did not fall on stage. This was an allegation during the first day of the 21st Vodafone Ghana Music Award. And also on page 12 by Bernard Esubontin says, if Sakawa is a soccer game, JD Mahama will be Messi. This is also still trending. And at the back page of the Daily Guide, it says that Heart gets new bars now. The Accra Hearts of Folk Sporting Club have received a brand new bars after many years on rickety wheels, and Prince Grona is going to be here on our sports segment to give us more details on that. And PSG slams FFF over Impade COVID-19 test, and Rambo get real estate support. And finally, Greenwood begs for inviting women to team hotel. News, Manchester United in the news. And if you have not also seen, Manchester United have actually launched a new jersey. And of course, as a Manchester United fan,
Are you a Manchester fan?
I am a die-hard Manchester United fan. I have been a Manchester United fan since the reign of Alex Ferguson. And I won't stop being a Manchester United fan.
Anyway.
I'm not going to stop being a Manchester United
Your
fan.
team is on a decline anyway.
Well,
That's been on a decline for some 5 seasons
you
now.
know, the whole thing about football is that it's a win or lose game. And I am not,
But
I am
Manchester
not,
is a big club that
Listen,
doesn't really
no
accept
matter how
those
much,
things. They always want results.
Yes.
Just like
Yes.
this big team,
yes,
Liverpool,
I do
the
get
best
you.
team in the Premier League. You know.
I'm not going to, I'm not going to say no to that. But every good supporter knows that there are bad times and there are good times.
Okay.
Even in business, there are bad times and there are good times. If we are having our bad times now, we are okay. That hard supporters will continue to support. But there is always light at the end of the tunnel, and you people should watch out because
Manchester.
you wouldn't get it easy the next time.
So where do you think you people place this season? This coming season. The season is just beginning. On Friday
You know, let's save that for Prince Grona
to come.
to come on because
No, but as a Manchester fan, where do you think? Where do you see your team?
There is no Manchester United fan who is going to say that, oh, I want to see my team go on relegation.
No, but if
I want to
the
see my
team is good enough, like you asked me, where do I think Liverpool is going to end this coming season? We are going for the trophy. We are actually defending champions. We won it
I mean,
last season.
we are all
And this
we are
season
all
we are going for it
we are
again.
all going for the trophy. But your form states and the strength of your team.
Your best position will be fifth.
Please
Even
give us a review.
Champions League, you will not get.
Well,
to play.
that's a very big troll anyway, but I'm still hopeful.
Anyway, I am with a Daily Graphic, and the big story here, the picture of former chairman of the Pentecost Church, Apostle Kwejo Opoku Onyina, who is a member of the governing board of the National Peace Council, is here. His photograph is beautifully printed over here, and this is what he's saying. He says, disband vigilante groups. Peace Council urges political parties. I mean, that's a big story. We shall be getting into the details of that story. And actually, that story can be found on the page 3 of the Daily Graphic. And HIV fund to be operationalized end of the year. And to some story in education says 531 705 candidates write BEC on Monday, and then President commended for social interventions. To the back page of the Daily Graphic, 4 die in torrential rains in Upper East region. I mean, that's a very sad story that says that some people were in their rooms asleep, and then their building collapsed on them. I mean, it's a very
unfortunate thing, and I feel Ghana has forgotten totally about the kind of infrastructure that really last. The temporary roads,
See, to talk of
people building in waterways,
yeah,
people being allowed to use inferior materials to put up buildings, people who are not being checked to renovate their buildings, and people who just forget about the fact that your life sometimes depends on where you sleep.
yeah, yeah, very true.
Your life
See, there is
sometimes
there,
depends
there
on
is
what
one
where you
house
sleep.
at Jolu where I go, and all the time when I see the building, I'm like, oh God, this is a time bomb. We will sit down, and one day we'll be there. We will hear that there's been a building that has collapsed over there,
And people have died.
yes, before we will act.
I think
Nobody is
we
checking.
as a nation,
Mm.
we as a nation fail to prioritize every single life.
That is why I have
Every
said,
single life is important in Ghana. Every single life.
yeah,
Every
no
single
matter
life.
no matter
No
where
matter,
they are.
no matter where they are, every single life is
Accra,
important.
it's not Ghana is not Accra alone actually. This
Well,
upper
yes,
east,
yes, yes.
this upper east that we are talking about, go there and go and check. Go to the north and go
Well,
and check.
I have had people, I have had the chance to talk to people from the northern regions, and most of them have expressed concerns that politicians and rules in Ghana tend not to favor them because they feel Accra is just Ghana, and
Yeah.
all of these regions are not part of Ghana.
Yeah.
But if we are going to be looking at a country where infrastructure is really going to be sustainable, where infrastructure is going to be the number one thing that people will be campaigning about and people would try to put out there to win people's vote, then we should do it and do it well. It is high time we free our waterways. It is high time we stop people from building at places where it is risky. It is high time we let property control or whatever ministry or whatever organization is responsible for that call people to renovate their homes. And it's high time we go to check on the materials that are being used to put up buildings, because there are people who do sleep in mud houses that has been painted, that has been plastered with cement at places where it
It's
is
a
not
water
really
law.
yes, they are so much water logged. I'm not saying it is wrong to sleep in a mud house. No, there are places that are okay or
That are
even
suitable for
good.
certain kind of structure.
Certain kind of structures. For instance, you can't build a mud house at a waterlogged area like
Alacho.
Choco, Alacho, and all of those places. You can't put up mud houses or wooden structures that don't have a solid base. You can't do that. But we live in a country where some of all of these things are being looked over, because the moment we talk about it, somebody will be like, Misika me wanna me the city me pay. But if we are going to be looking at stopping some of these things and making every life precious, we have to put up a strong fight
That is
where we are going to be stopping all of these things.
implementation
Because
and all that.
come to think of it, why should somebody die in a room for?
No, but this is sad actually.
It's really sad. It's really, really sad. And what really hurts me is that we have children involved in these things, and it hurts my soul.
It is sad.
It hurts my soul to see children dying for some of these things. And I'm not going to hold their parents responsible. I'm going to hold the government responsible.
Definitely. So let's continue. So 4 die in torrential rains in Upper East region, and Kalio Laura solar project also on course. Let's look at some of the stories as well. NDC promises comprehensive sports development. Okay, and then okay, so Dr. MP also is calling, Dr. MP Danso is also calling on the president to use his position to spearhead democracy in sub-region in Africa, because just recently the president was appointed as the chairman of the ECOWAS, yes, and that's why he's calling on the president to use his position. Actually, people in position of power. That is what you have to do. Use your position to cause change. It is not, you are not, we don't vote for you to become a president, or we don't vote for you to become a minister or a member of parliament to be worshipped. I mean, it is high time we stop some of these things. We are tired of it, actually. So, and another story here, this is on sanitation, says management of liquid waste. Tema leaks from broken down sewage systems. And then two deprived communities also cry for help, and there is this story here that says that Central Region Police update knowledge of electoral laws. Actually, we are in a year of election, and I mean, I think we have to increase the education. We have to educate people on the need to maintain peace. Don't go to any polling station to go and cause any kind of mayhem or whatsoever. And then there's this story also here on page 29, says we are not responsible for unsolicited political messages. Telcos are saying this. Actually, sometimes you'll be there and then I mean, your phone, you receive a message on your phone telling you to vote for so and so and so and so and so and so. So the telcos are saying they are not actually responsible for that. Yes, and this on education says on page 26, prolonged school closure can result in more pregnancy. I mean, an advocacy group called themselves Organization Africa Education Watch. They are actually saying this, that once we are still in the house because of the COVID, more pregnancies, we are going to see more and more pregnancies. So
more and more pregnancies because school would resume next year.
Next year, yeah. Next year. So those are some of the stories for us. And then we'll be going into into the papers. The big one, like I said. Should I take it?
Yes,
yeah.
take it.
So disband vigilante groups. Peace Council urges political parties. The National Peace Council has called on political parties to strictly adhere to the roadmap adopted to help eradicate political vigilantism from the country. A member of the governing board of the NPC, Apostle Kwadwo Opoku-Nyina, advised political parties that were still engaging the services of vigilantes to disband them before the December elections. And this is what he said, and I quote, "We use this opportunity to call on political parties which are still harboring any vigilante groups or their remnants after the ban through the passage of the Vigilantism and Related Offences Act 2019, Act 999, to take immediate steps to complete the disbandment process before the December 2020 general election," he said, unquote. Apostle Onyina made the call at a workshop organized to increase their campaign on the eradication of political vigilantism from Ghana at Amasaman in the Greater Accra region yesterday. The workshop, which was organized by the NPC, was funded by the Danish Embassy and brought together stakeholders in the electoral process, including officials from the Electoral Commission, the political parties, and security agencies. That is a very good call by Apostle Dr. Kwadwo Opoku-Onyina. Calling on these political parties to disband vigilante groups. The bill was passed into law in 2019, just 2019 over here, and I think political parties should adhere to that law that was passed by Parliament, so that we don't see situations where even after elections, not only during elections, but then after elections, we see vigilante groups going to even toilet facilities to go and take the people manning the property over there and say that our government has come to power and all that. So I think they should be firm to disband these people, and the laws must work. That's one problem. If the laws do not work, then we are going to be seeing more and more of these ones. I think this one, if you are caught in this vigilante thing, you are going to be jailed maximum 15 years. And I think it's in the right direction. Yeah.
It's a good thing that they are talking about it now ahead of the
Election.
2020
Yeah.
elections. So when there are cases that do erupt, we don't say we never had a time to
Yeah.
disband these vigilante
Yes.
groups, because as we are evolving as a country, there are a lot of things that we should be looking at, and the world puts their eyes on us during
The election.
major events like
Yeah.
elections, and it will be so embarrassing, so disgracing of us to have us at great big media houses over the world talking about violence. And I think the peace of Ghana is much more important
Very
than any
important,
other
yes.
thing. I always say that if elections are going to disturb our peace, then we wouldn't vote at all.
That is it.
But as a country, we also need government. We also need governance. We need a group of people who are going to ensure that development and all of these things, law and order are always underway. So the peace of Ghana should be the paramount of it all.
Yeah.
Now, apart from it being something that they say, oh, my party is in power and all that, I think the vigilantism actually, I believe it starts with the big names themselves. It starts
Oh
with
yeah.
them.
Oh yeah.
It does start with them, because
Yeah.
these people are funded by who?
By political parties.
Good. They are funded
They are
by
boys
political parties.
actually.
And they will say that they always come out to say that they are not a vigilante group that are in for violence. They are just a vigilante group, probably just for them to stand out at places, or just to rally with them or rally behind them at places where they do visits for campaign.
Yeah.
But the truth is that these vigilante groups are the people that causes violence at election
Yeah.
centers and after
They
elections.
go guard ballot box.
They do
and,
go
and
guard
take
ballot,
ballot
they take
box and
ballot
do
box,
all this
especially
stuff.
after it's been counted and they realize that their political parties are falling short at this particular areas. So if we are talking about this, we should loud it out more, so people wouldn't say that, or these political parties wouldn't say they never had enough time to disband them. Because if these laws are really working as it
Yeah.
has been passed
Yeah.
in 2019, we shouldn't give them any breathing space. We shouldn't
That's it.
allow them to go against it. And if anybody should be found guilty,
Yeah.
they should dance to the tune
Definitely.
of the law. And
Definitely.
I think it is going to be. Now, a big shout out to Comfort Appointee, watching us live on our Facebook, and also to Christopher Mensah and Sefa Mina, who is also on our live feed on Facebook. Now, Joe inside Kaswa sent me a message via WhatsApp. He says that very soon, we will see who really is copying who. Jane and John Dramani Mahama are the people that God has called to lead the 2020 elections. We are going to open our eyes wide this time, and there are not going to be any hackers whatsoever. The People's Manifesto is truly the People's Manifesto, and MPP should be taken back to the bush. Don't forget that you can leave your messages right there also on our live feed. Just log on to Facebook and search Radio Guy. We are live right now, and you can leave your messages down below in the comment section. Please take us through some of the other stories that are trending in the Daily Graphic. If you just tune in, this is the Rise Up Morning Show, and we are reviewing our national daily newspapers right here at Radio Guy Online.
Well, okay. So there is this story also over here. CSOs insist on suspension of Ejapadio, and the Alliance of Civil Society Organizations working in the extractive, anti-corruption, and good governance areas is insisting that the government has to suspend the Ejapa Minerals royalty transaction for further national consultations. It said since their last press conference on the Ejapadio, the government had made efforts to respond to the questions it raised, but said there were still unanswered questions. The alliance, in a statement issued in Accra yesterday, said it found it unfortunate that while the Minister of Finance, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, had favorably responded to the call for further consultations. He had publicly stated that he would go ahead with the transaction regardless of the serious concerns being raised by a large section of the people. It said such posturing raised doubts about the genuineness of the pledge to undertake further consultations. It is not enough for the Minister of Finance or the government to ask citizens to trust its sincerity and expertise. It will not be right for them to try to bulldoze through a controversial transaction such as this, and about which genuine questions have been raised by experts as well as ordinary people. We are therefore reiterating our call on the government to suspend the implementation. It said, we have so far been constrained in our analysis of the transaction by our inability to access the full complement of data and assumptions used in government's valuation of the royalties being traded. At our last meeting with the minister, some slides containing some data were presented. However, when we requested for copies, those particular slides of interest to us were omitted, either deliberately or inadvertently. According to government, its objective for the Minerals Income Investment Fund, according to the government, its objective for the Income Investment Fund is to maximize the value of the royalties due the Republic from the mineral wealth of the country for the benefit of its citizens in a responsible, transparent, accountable, and sustainable manner. It said. It is said the challenge, however, was how the outright sale of up to 49% of the royalties from 48 leases that constituted the bulk of Ghana's proving gold. So, I mean, the CSOs are actually asking, and still, I mean, this story has been trending for a very long time.
For weeks now.
Came to the public domain, and then the CSOs actually insisted, and they are still saying that.
But do you think
should,
the HAPAC deal should still be suspended?
Well, because of certain things that the public is talking about, I think the government should be a listening government, and then go for further consultation.
Do you think
with
that
them.
if it is not suspended, it is going to be one of the things that people are going to stand on?
No, but government, you see, government cannot actually do things without the consent of the people that it is serving.
And the moment something
So,
is hideous,
that
it
is it.
becomes suspicious.
Now the CSOs, they've raised a lot of concerns, saying that even some of the slides that you people, when we went for the consultation, the slides that were shown to them, the copies that they asked for, when they got to their offices, they checked the slides, some were omitted, and that is, I mean, it is a little bit fishy. So they are calling on government to further suspend this deal until an agreement is reached. Then we can go ahead. Mind you, I mean, the royalties or the mineral royalties isn't for anybody. It is for all of us. So that is what we should do for the greater good of the people. That is what we should do. So I think they should hold on that. Yeah.
Okay, so before we get into some other stories, remember we also have the Ghanaian Times on with us, and on the front page it says government praises frontline workers and others for commitment sacrifice towards conquering disease, and polio vaccination of children takes off in 8 regions tomorrow. Ghana records 143 new COVID-19 cases, and active cases dropped from 856 to 831. That is the Ghanaian Times. And take us through the next 2 stories from the demographic, so we can get into the Ghanaian Times and look at some of the stories that are trending. At the back page of the Ghanaian Times, it says Chereponi district cut off from rest of northeast due to flooding, and center to enhance business growth in rural areas inaugurated in Central South.
Okay, so on page 18 of the Daily Graphic, the NDC will create bright future for Ghana. I mean, this is the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, saying this, and he says the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, former president John Dramani Mahama has said the next NDC government will create a bright future for every Ghanaian. He said the priorities of the party were to build a sustainable society with opportunities for all in order to promote human development. And as such, he would seek to optimize healthcare, quality education, and skills training as the cornerstone for progress and prosperity. He said, for instance, his $10 billion accelerated infrastructure plan, dubbed the Big Push, would generate jobs for the multitudes of people, provide infrastructure for accelerated development, and fix the economy as Ghanaians unite against poverty. So former President Obama said this at the launch of the 2020 NDC manifesto at the University of Professional Studies, Accra, last Monday. The manifesto on the theme Jobs, Prosperity, and More, the People's Manifesto, also saw the launch of the Braille version of the document. Our manifesto is our social contract with the people of Ghana, and we would create a bright future for Ghana and for every Ghanaian, he said. He noted that the country's economy was not working for everyone and that it was only working for a few, adding that we would fix the economy and make it work for all Ghanaians. We would fight the disastrous effect of the poor economic management of this administration. So that is the former president John Dramani Mahama actually promising Ghana. This is a very big promise for us. You see, when they promise like this and then they come to power and they deliver, that is what is going to help us. You get it? Creating million jobs in your first term and all that. I mean, as for that one, it is very questionable for me. How are they going to achieve this? So if they are saying that they are going to create a bright future for Ghanaians, that is what we want. For a very long time, Ghana, we have been wallowing. There are a lot of poverty in this country that we need to actually attend to and fight. We need to try to eradicate poverty, if not outright. I mean, to some extent, yes, to some extent, jobs should be readily available. We should industrialize the economy. We should do all these things. They are not doing it, and you come and promise me things that are not attainable. Anyway, good morning to you, Mr. President.
And also on our Ghanaian Times, we have also on the front page, police arrest 17 sex workers at Cantonment. So let's get into the very big story that is on the front page, saying that the government's comment and praises front-line workers on the fight against COVID-19. And before we get into that story, let's look at another story that is also on the front page, saying that police arrest 17 commercial sex workers at Cantonment. Now, 17 commercial sex workers have been arrested by the police for soliciting for immoral activities at Cantonment in Accra in separate operations. Now, the suspects were apprehended with quantities of condoms in areas such as Togo Embassy and Osu Oxford Street. Now, the Public Relation Officer, PRO of the Accra Regional Police Command, Deputy Superintendent of Police, Ifia Tenge, disclosed these to the Ghanaian Times in Accra yesterday, stating they are in custody assisting in investigations. Now, the issue of commercial sex workers in Ghana has been something I feel is something that we can never stop. It can never stop, and I don't see why. I mean, these you would arrest them, they will be released definitely, and they will go back to the same jobs. This is where most of them are being asked why they do this, and the only reason that they give you is because there are no jobs. This should be a wake-up call. But if we are going to be arresting them and releasing them, without giving them jobs or without giving them a reason not to stop, they are going to continue doing it. And also, if people are not patronizing, they wouldn't do that. They are men who patronize these people. And I think that in as much as you are arresting women who are doing these things, we should also arrest men who are also patronizing these people. Because I'm a Kobe no be Anton. So what you
Really?
yes, Kobe no be Anton.
Oh my God.
But so we don't want the mean say they be a medina na man for to they be a maiden.
No, but commercial sex work is not legal. Is it? It is not legal.
It's not legal.
Yeah. So I mean, I think anyone that engages in that
That is the same way Okada is not legal, but
they want to legalize it.
that's the same way Okada.
No, but for them, they have said they will legalize
Well,
it and allow it to operationalize fully.
We are not talking about the legalization of it. But I mean, Okada is not legal, but there are 1,001 Okada drivers who are doing business every day. So, if we are going to be arresting, if we are going to be arresting people based on the illegality of their jobs, we would be arresting a lot of people.
No, but if we say that there are certain things, for this commercial sex work thing, it's a moral issue.
Do you think that
now
it is not in Ghana legalized? Do you think it should be legalized and they should be paying tax?
Legalized. To be dangerous for this country.
You know, wait.
No, you see.
Put morality aside. I mean, to some extent, it's a job. Because
it creates
jobs.
jobs.
It feeds
Wow.
them. It feeds their families. That is what probably.
No, but you see, let me say this. As a country, we cannot actually or entirely stop people from doing this. But what we have to do is that we have to create jobs for people. Let's create jobs. Let's create opportunities for young women so that they don't do this. Let's have young entrepreneurs. Let's support young businesses so that people do not engage in these things. If people are not getting jobs to do, that is what they are going to do.
Well, that is why John Dramani Mama says that he's going to make TVET education free. Technical and educational education. He is going to actually make it free. So let's hope and see whether we are going to see a reduction in some of these illegal things that we call it.
See, if there are jobs in the country, I don't think.
But there are people who do have jobs and they still going to do this thing. So
it is not probably
is
on
what
a high. That's what I'm saying. We cannot stop it entirely, but then we should get something for them doing and we will minimize it. Yeah.
Okay, so on to the main story on the front page. The government has commended Ghanaians, especially frontline workers of the Ghana Health Service, for their unsaved commitment towards the fight against the novel coronavirus COVID-19 in the country. Now, according to the government, it was pleased with the commitment and sacrifices made by Ghanaians towards conquering the disease in the country so far. Now, speaking at a press conference in Kumasi yesterday, the Minister of Information, Kojo Oppong Nkrumah, said government is pleased with the roles that the various stakeholders have played towards the elimination of the virus in the country. Now, he also took this opportunity to admonish Ghanaians that despite the continuous decline in active cases, there should be strict adherence to the safety protocols such as intermittent hand washing with soap under running water and wearing of nose mask. Now, this is according to the Information Minister, Mr. Kojo Oppong Nkrumah. And also, below that, we have Ghana reports 143 new cases. Active cases dropped from 856 to 831, with 283 deaths. Now, the Ghana Health Service has confirmed 143 new COVID-19 cases in the latest update. Now, despite the new cases, Ghana's active cases as of yesterday has dropped by 25 from 856 to 831. Now, the new cases date back to Friday, September 4th, 2020. Out of the number of cases, 6 are in critical condition, the 3 on ventilators, and 16 in severe conditions. And this is sad. And also in some health news, now polio vaccination of children takes off in 8 regions tomorrow. Now the Ghana Health Service will from Thursday begin round 2 immunization of all children under 5 years against the polio virus type 2 in 8 regions in the country. Now the exercise will cover regions including the western, eastern, the western north, upper west, regions, OT regions, Ashanti, Eastern Volta, and the Greater Accra regions. Comfort Apprenti says she's watching us live from Medina, and Positive Change Medina, of course, always for the NDC, left as a message. And also in the middle page, that's the page 16 and 17 of the Ghanaian Times, it says that SIC present 24,000 to Sunyani Tech Varsity for furniture purchase. And also in the Ghanaian Times same way, we also have some other stories that also have been captured in our daily news. Don't forget that Prince Grona is all set to bring us news in a bit. Now we have cocoa farmers call for increment in cocoa price. That can be found on page 18. Now the farmers in the Sankore cocoa district in the Ahafo region have called for an increment in cocoa price in the upcoming 2020 to 2021 season, which is expected to be open this month. Now, according to the farmers, the cost of production had increased significantly, and it was therefore prudent that the Ghana Cocoa Board and, for that matter, government to respond to the price increment. Now, the chairman of Ajarikum Farmers Cooperative, Peter Adongo, who made the call, explained that the high cost of farm labor and inputs such as fertilizers and insecticides have culminated to absorb the gains of the farmers. And also lastly, ministry provides weighing scales for senior high school. Now the Ministry of Education has presented 722 weighing scales to senior high schools to enable them to check the quantities of food supplied them by the National Buffer Stock Company across the country. And the Ministry of Education, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe, speaking at the presentation ceremony, stated that the initiative to provide schools with weighing skills was as a result of complaints received from numerous schools concerning the quantity of foodstuffs supplied them by the company. Now, after sending supplies to the school, we keep hearing complaints from one or two other than either the weight of the food we brought was not up to the weight that was supplied to the students. And at the back page also of the Ghanaian Times, Center to enhance business growth in rural areas, inaugurated in Secretariat South. And the Minister of Trade and Housing, Alan Tremontin, yesterday inaugurated a new business resource center at Agona in the Secretariat South district of the Ashanti region. And the center forms part of the Rules Enterprises programs, which seeks to enhance business growth areas in rural areas. And also speaking at the event, the minister reiterated government commitment to stimulate private sector growth to address unemployment issues and also some other issues. And that is all for the Ghanaian Times. Okay. And lastly, in the Daily Graphic,
let me take these two stories very quickly. 531,705 candidates writes BECE Monday, and the West African Examination Council (WAEC) has declared its readiness to conduct this year's Basic Education Certificate examination, taking into consideration all the security measures and COVID-19 safety protocols. All the question papers have been produced under tight security, under the surveillance of the Ghana Police Service and WAEC security. The head of the National Office of WAEC, Mrs. Wendy E. Adilamti, said at a press conference yesterday ahead of the examination, which starts from Monday, September 14th to Friday, September 18, 2020. A total of 131, 705 candidates made up of 269, 419 males and 262, 286 females are expected to write the BECE. So, I mean, that's it. WAEC is actually saying that they are prepared, and then the papers have also been under strict security surveillance, and we are expecting, we hope that we don't actually encounter or see the things that we saw when the senior high school students, yes, were writing. We don't want to see that again for a very long time, again and again, every year. As for the APO year, it drops.
Okay.
People go chase APO. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know why we cannot clamp down some of these things, and probably because we have also prioritized examination so much. As a child, in my head, I need to pass. So whatever thing that I have to do to pass, I have to do it. Yes.
So even if you are prepared adequately or not prepared adequately, you are still going to
chase APO.
Okay.
So that you can pass.
Okay. So thank you so
And
much.
but let me do the last story. 4 die in torrential rains in Upper East region. Says 4 persons have died in Binduri, Talensi, and Buisa North district in the Upper East region following days of torrential rains in the 3 districts. 2 of the deaths occurred in the Binduri district, while one involving a female occurred in the Talensi district. The deceased were in their rooms sleeping when the building collapsed on them, resulting in their deaths. The 4 persons got drowned in Russian flood waters at Siniesi in the Buisa North district. Among the deceased are 2 teenagers. The Upper East Regional Director of the National Management Organization, NATMO, Mr. Jerry Asameni, who made this known to the Daily Graphic yesterday, said the rains had displaced about 50 people at Sumbrungu, a suburb of the Bogatanga municipality. He said the incident happened last Saturday as a result of torrential rains, not spillage from the Bagri Dam. He, however, declined to give the names of the deceased, saying in disasters and situations like this, you do not give out the names of people. I mean, like I said in our opening headlines, very sad story over there that people are sleeping in their sleep and a building collapsed on them.
That is
resulting in deaths.
That is appalling.
Very, very sad.
That is
story.
not something that is acceptable.
Yeah. And the man is saying this is range. It's not as a result of spillage from the Bagri down like we were saying. And he said it's range. Rain. I mean, rain. In Accra, when it rains, we are dying. And so almost everywhere, every part of Ghana, we are dying because of rains. Oh God.
Well, that should be a stand-up call or a wake-up call for us. And let's make sure. Now, before we go, let me read a message from Positive Change Medina. He says that the next NDC Mahama government will provide free primary health care for all Ghanaians. Under this policy, any Ghanaian who visits a CHIPS compound or a health center or a clinic or a polyclinic or a district hospital will be treated for free. This policy will complement the NHIS, which will apply to only secondary and tertiary health facilities. Vote for nation builders. John and Jane for better Ghana. Regards to the lawyer Francis Susu, next MP for Medina. And that is Positive Change Medina bringing us. Thank you so much, Evans. Thank you for coming in with our newspaper review. And he never disappoints.
No big problem, guys.
Up next, we have Prince Grona coming in with sport. In a bit, stay tuned.
No, I do automatic. One woman they pass you automatic. On Instagram you go see photogenic. Techie. I say something must kill a man. Only a woman go kill a man. Yahoo go kill a man. And no problem, hey Suleiman. Gucci go kill a man. CLS go kill a man. Range Rover and a shower Trasaco go kill a man. Something must 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 kill a man. If no be ash, you go be problem with cash. If no be ash, you go be problem with cash. 16 years with honorable sugar daddy, honor you. You get plenty picking, you know pay school fees, so side cheeky, buy a bungalow. If I say something must kill a man, no be gunny for just understand. Mary K, go kill a man. Take me go shopping, go kill a man. Something must 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 kill a man. If no be ash, you go be problem with cash. If no be ash, you go be problem with cash. Something must kill a man. 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 If no be ash, you go be problem with cash. If no be ash, you go be problem with cash.
Dean winning bomber. Be ready for me, Dean. A Dean winning one top. Tama say Jamwa, Mido, Yami, Yabe, Passe, Pasako, no get exits. My own no be Tate, Passe. I got face bathrooms for house. Try piss me off and see. I don't go your size name it. My closest self get tasty. If you're to go, Joe and see. Again, what the ING. Where then follow the footsteps. They take a hoe, Joe and see. I say, Yabo, you need a hoe. I say, Yabo, you need to slow. I say, Yabo, Yabo.
And then come on, madam. A swagging cry. Mrs. Braces for you be 2 years free. A quarry plan. Yeah, and we are both my seven coat. Jamming on me silly like every hammer again. And the entire girl is out. I see what you be nasty. See, I know they like that. Make more cash with it. Check no blacks. Hey, blah, I bet what's your prana or you do a fake go slacks. Drip. Brim, whip. Hey, no be soft drinks. Yeah, makes it sip.
I say, Yabo, you need a hoe. I say, Yabo, you need to slow. I say, Yabo.
Always alright. That's Radio Guy.
I was built to be the best, number one and nothing less. Lead me to my destiny. I have waited patiently. I have vision, oh I believe. I know I can count on me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. 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 Stand up. Here we go, it's getting close. Now it's just who wants it most. It's just life, that's how it is. 'Cause we have our strengths and the weaknesses. Oh, I have vision, oh, can't you see? I'm on the move, make way for me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. 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 Stand up. And when I for the champions, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand just life, that's how it is. Cause we have our strengths and weaknesses. Oh, I have vision, can't you see? I'm on the move, make way for me. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up,
That's Radio
stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up.
All set to bring you sport right here. Prince Grona, my favorite sportsman, is in the studios to bring us updates in sport. If you just tune in, we are live on Facebook. And don't forget to click like and share on our YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you can leave your comments down below. Big shout out to Christopher Mensah, who is watching on our live feed. And also to Positive Change Madina, Comfort Apprentice, Sefa Mina, who are all watching us. It's always a honor to bring you good vibes in the mornings. And Prince Grona is here, your favorite sportsman. Good morning.
Morning.
And I made you watch it.
No,
And I wonder all.
I want to do more pan.
This is the idea. I say sports for no. Titi no anka ye come manifesto. I say you come once and baby, but I feed ye. I say MPP ni NDC ni na mo manifesto mo be to dwe. I say mo come once and pa.
I want to once and pa.
Because
I discover cool.
And I pay so. Ono ankasa kan say sports for no say come once and ma. Mo fan cheno. Into ono ankasa kan mo de ma mo. And I pay so back page of one of our papers no say heart to folk. She say bass na bidwa. Bass na e say ejabo e say eja nya bidru. Into sports delegate the children no
Only
say
Star Life a partnership. I'm a drama commission BBA.
yes, am I fair. I pa no mo say 48 seater. Na zizia omo chere say bass omo dia be. Let's hope that their stadium will also be available by January 2021.
Now, as bus nipa by the same P about
The same P won't be home.
Kotoko 4 bus now, because say ACC. That's for you know, Mudia Bano.
Okay.
Omudia, who I say, yeah, the Abamudia said, over Kotoko 4 and some Mudia.
As a move, sports, right?
Okay, who's a for me? Did the Prince go over to my friend, David Prince, any day? I'm on an insem and if you some so bro, the account so any day anchor is so I didn't know about Bremo or the super morning rising so. UEFA Nations Cup, Nations League Neto, I'm on boy, that was Tuesday, Monday, and Tuesday now. Scores in the top and right there, I remember to Belgium, any Iceland, boy, Belgium, show 5-1. Now, Belgium, so sure, a Ghana player, a pure Belgium national team, on drop or Sheko, Jerome Duku. Or shall go Emma Belgium, Ghana 4 player, also a kind of Belgium national team. Was a kind Emma shall go in Dramamusha Iceland, 5 goes to 1. Belgium may we near England, only Denmark, a boy, 0-0, be a ship. Now, England, soon in some baby out to draw England camp, why I dare not to a baby, as time goes on. France as well, Croatia, boy, France as Croatia, 4 goes to 2. France and Sweden, Portugal, Sweden to Abrante Cristiano Ronaldo. 2 goals in my Portugal. I'm a first match to Ambobi. I'm a river 2 just said. So Portugal team no Nimukra, so no Musibom, son on no fight difference. And bad team, but Baba say I can't run my own. So the difference have been, but only some fight difference. But she 2 goals. And one was sharing 100 plus goals. I'm a Portugal 4 national team. This is 100 plus. And the Amon. In some day, those EPL, Yamia Duma weekend when I EPL, by the longer waiting league, you know. I don't ever talk. My players be about EPL anymore. On my sister, Namia Duma this week. The EPL, the move the EPL, move the Uko Woods for Akacha. On my side, Abrante Free Benfica. I'm FC Porto 4 striker. I'm about with more Wolves. Fabio Silva, record signing £35 million. Sana Wolves for a signer. Namia Duma, a starting league. Obviously, I carried a Wolves for. Casna for so almost uncle Danny Ceballos for loan. Omako Jomuchi loan and soon on commerce and go find a loan. Edina Bioma, obviously a kai, Edia Momu. Now I say to do just no Messi, Uncle City for Madame by Messi, Papa, one in agent, Libas over control. Messi, when young Cobium, or Betina Barcelona now on your moon. I see a kind of 1 season, says soon and better Sobekwa, and answer Uncle. Abantia, Gabriel, Magas, also have a PM Arsenal, on your mother tree, about 27 million pounds of relief, and or the buy. On season where the Premier League number the Manchester also branch Van de Beek on also about 5 years for Babu money I asked once to come out by our Yamia Duma season whereby the players never more EPL him there so any and says enjoy EPL any pa into no more and share and also by England in some about to do answer England for a column you know more AC so Penecrane with Phil Foden and Greenwood, Manchester 4 player Greenwood and Phil Foden, Man City 4 player. Phil Foden 20 years old and a branch Greenwood 18 years old. But England, I call camp on me and they see a kind of way. They need Mutino. You had the precaution to one in Yamaso, turn on one and just almost be flab on I'm form guess about the show and crop. And yes, now, Yama Bimu, and I'm painful no pure master or national to know soon. First timer, ya from home national team and come coach on board Omnias and Omu Bomb. Take a moment, them and come aboard run. Ya for one of from San
a mema pan, a man, just a way a man, Obinaka, and as I'm also Otika Moe Chica, and no baby chum no shen. They can't look away. I abandon a no,
yes, so Obana's who comes over and shy, the man I share and go on share.
It is agree with us, a man and they are now.
And I'm going to banning a car and Tomu Drew Chronosuno. And I'm no pony banning a year is a snap once a moon banning there. Muko baby a snap and moving Diagro. The snap on me and the broadcast tent, ya choma Sam, I are finding your mukra. And I can say, but it's not to Burao and tell them to Momu. I'm also moving security guys never hotel or no. And the moment as the players in the Sua say, be a buku, once they be a bet my say hotel, a commerce and a public woman, Jifu, Omujo, party different. You can't bet me up as guest.
Okay,
no one in the room. The players will bet me.
Okay,
Alpha back door, I'll call for you, no mother.
Okay.
The Ninsa could see or no more, dear, but according to Nkolano to the Omokan, say, in Pennyphone be security for no more telephone, be no Anna, a lady girls in the Eddie Pound, and on the end, say my back. Nkolana about a patch or Greenwood about a patch or and 40 so about a patch or so, Pennyphone,
say, why after more?
My first caller,
first, yes, more. Inti, say, on one friend will be a man. And I say, Uncle Year, who are you going to blame?
And I'm that chop up, but some people are for natural, any coaching, any family will be out.
Now, what shall you bet me at your
because your TTV, I'm the chance John Terry, any bridge, one club, almost a national team about Coco Faba.
Okay,
I mean, by your guys, not John Terry and a captain, the 3 lions for captain.
Okay,
by Siama, yes, I say, Emma. I'm going to call up. They try to see because Jimmy Carragher put a cassette on the pony all 21 so some on your similar program after much of no Musa. Help where my Chinese and Bastan was on correcting the mistake in your man, your friend back. And a Philip never moved to your man, Jim Sankolana, dear man, a chop and something told me about the say and Shana. Southgate to solve from Bapasi, Omon coming down back to a normal way. And so I said, I'm end, no, but I'm sure you wait my own end.
Okay.
So I'm share. No, I say, I have morning. I'm a bit my dear, but Green Gate, we almost Southgate say, any idea or no, or be born my bemba. I don't go to a call up with the beba because some are young, or many matches in the able. And to send me the address or transfers into Echo Cost to the Bimuba, any Yama PSG for play and Bappy, but testing positive. And I know one wants to say, place in the baby. I tested positive for coronavirus because someone say you're in a pain. Say someone say you're any said that you someone take precaution in your money because I can't take poor Basugabi. Mahrez nya bi Laporte omo nyina nya bi ah ye treat omo ye hwe omo Manchester New Jersey aba ngofo say ebi mu say tom tom ebi mu say zebra because hwe Jersey ni desire zebra colors no dey use black and white.
Nah, maybe I'm a Manchester United fan. Now, when I saw the Jesse, no, na yemi na kakra. Now, so a critical look at it, you know, me who said they are trying to send us a message indirectly. Nancy, Black Lives Matters, yeah. By the Manchester United Jesse amount for S3, Twitter, any social media platforms or more say zebra amount for because we say discuss say all that they are trying to say whether black or white no in ni power what am I saying inti say amount for eventually Manchester United fans say you should look at the meaning of the jersey. I mean the meaning of the colors first before you should buy it. But I think they are the only team I mean who say on one launch jersey on we try video na me share video na oh wow video no twa just video no twa just ni so sa so ye fe na obi na ka na se menye just ni mu hia the ohia ne say ye trophy
because football is all about trophy.
Yes,
win and football no no the river sorry so the river fi sem na Brighton continue what we say about Liverpool for 80 they were Brighton no pa Champions League or G and you scar as Liverpool by Barcelona the man Liverpool don't make sure Arsenal coach now about so yan party now you want to about 15 matches Barcelona for versus Liverpool for £5 million Afghanistan send 148 million euros you know into Brighton continue the one Liverpool for in scapa because of both 15 matches spent they will sky Liverpool for Barcelona for entry and farmer about Kevin De Bruyne also Yanyama on GPFA Player of the Year or Premiership also dear pa one I'm on Sema or the Baba but say breakfast near for a few Semumbra NDC for the manifesto about sports for Monjay MPP for so the about Monjay and this for my 6 promises on mobile and my NMP before some my 10 mobile on my tear share because manifesto on the come share board a chance and so attend this for to the Ambassador Australia visa scandal by the papa when you there on be Jim on be to because I said some ye time amanaka by nya there on me penny than tomuba the basic piano on my UPS, UPSC, first name UPS, is somewhere in UPSC. I don't know to say I could see AstroTurf which are more capacity 5,000. Don't know what is a so makes me at the above FIFA tournament. In a match, GF for some person who call to train in Common Sabia Ghana Premier League teams in the debate so at their home ground and on the above matches. And if you blast up person on your train and I'll be here. Obey you sue or Tamu Economy UPS for I got to drink common say Yama to me go here or make me at now some day Yama now Abua Ghana football to get so go for home penny for no I to train in Comona or Mount Sana Ebequa Kusi. Commerce and got the first new CEO Nana Posa Aqua former president Kufo and not to drink Comanche football be brave free no I'm also economic son of it milk control club and any nyama wa chen we che football power no no to that to the man Kufo former president or ko any one call kwa wa ko su ade pa na kotoko team ni de o nyama be prayer obe offer e dia mom so be kai so class of football former player like Kingston onto the about 2 or say pitch is a AC or Ghana nyama no your players need take advantage youth no mun take advantage and I'm painful take advantage from grooming youth need more because Ghana league coast egu Imagine pitches now, and come over and develop talent to Ghana more. But instead of any APO, I know how we are until we are so for Ghana or so for Penipa, Reverend Uzubempa, and another 2 other Juju our football. Our football.
I said my last year, come on, I say, Juju
football, my name Reverend Sekofina, and even 2 that. But Uzubempa, Juju our football, a woman. No, more shall no one can say any minute dear. Or for na juju or football mupa. Kotoko former player Ahmed Toure say on the Kotoko focus on Muyani Bioma on the Obesa, but what is on for Kata Kotoko for some man assassin or back at Konyosu and throw Ubia and Caspi and Chiren, yes, Oberman assassin now Bibia and on the Kotoko for some Muyani in there or China or Belcono no Mako Juma. As for MD Su Edaba told the fans, no, tell no be even on Mukasa in Yamana, had him nipa into Nagabeya. Fans no omun tu omubo na omun hwe na bibia nye omun bra baako na omun nye na as na nti na enfa ne tumapa enfra abio as for aso ya mu prayer Kofi Kojo ono so dia ba betu a say great team bia ba no omun hia no on be so mne no enkonkosi akan mo ba crowd folk for say omun jare ma player ne ma me no buso afọ aboyre as for akacha po ma cho say ya pa ma cho ya ba no hwe so fa kesi aba no okokata no discover failure or perhaps for enjoy a branch and as for to say scanner or mood demand team na scanner team media banansu don't mean to have an abuser for a pass for and a branch Kofi Kojo just about to yourself players will bring all qua has a free as an idea a better a crowd of folk or point be able to see for a quite say omunjan now continue kokata non go see na kind ewo honum in terms of the river sorry ewo feel some square under 17 from Guacobo for tournament. On my friend, players on mobile camp, I'm not 15th September, and on my starting campaign. On my friend, 70. On my friend, another 70. On my control, make sure no more you. Tomo you, man, 15 from our camp, I prepare a tournament. If you say my no to a war.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Now, Mama, you share Manchester United season ni babe start say Friday or say Monday Friday be Usha Manchester United me aye hu bibia na
me Manchester me
because last year I say Liverpool for some no we defending champions obenya bro
but Liverpool open ba ku so ba kaza say or Liverpool team no share sana nyamani kono onye so to make me retain title no because them go for here sign is for Chelsea for so ya Timo Werner Ziyech have Kai Havertz mo nyamaba omo ye oba Manchester so omo go for Danny Van de Beek ono so eba Everton go for James Rodriguez players eba who go share Spanish for striker Rodrigo ono to Leeds United akọ the Premiership leader this season there and there's a Bobby Abufia e wo mesa Obi a ni sapo muso train league because this is Liverpool so very thing league won't be easy because Manchester City and Manchester so Manchester last season performance Bruno Fernandes change so ba to see omo kwa for box to box player
okay
I asked for best midfielder box player Van de Beek also a very talented player our baba can join their coach usually the list about say Yema Ope Abrante Javier Sancho number attacking, because coach don't show information so more attacking, more defense.
Okay.
International so since I coach in Manchester match more goals. So Manchester 2 3. Manchester go more attacking, so you more attacking. But the Premier League the season
Chelsea for so form. Almost fan base power Ghana has say.
Chelsea because social Frank Lampard in the first season about Chelsea one sign player be a abandoned Chelsea. I'm Yusuf Colano, I'm the fourth final FA Cup final and Arsenal finish. Same this season, Wako sign Timo Werner or one of the best striker ever German league in him. Wako sign Kai Havertz, one of the best midfielder ever Bundesliga in him. So said the Yama be by sign players, almost sign Ziyech, one of the best player on so much. Almost sign Chelsea the season way and Chelsea your bomb Buffon and as underrated Chelsea. Because almost show myself so Arsenal so signing. Of course, no matter we don't go fight defender. Obama here, no matter
season
City 2 years signing.
Okay.
The season wait there.
The Clash of the Titans okay. Because new players are coming in, new young blood are coming in.
We call Leeds United or promoted almost 16 years. I'm going to sign big players. In the Premier League, India, who's been paid? It is a way of relegation. And I will bet you this is a start time about half of the season.
Okay.
I know you go because this is a Premiership in India, all eyes. About Premier because someone sincere players.
Okay. Thank you so much, Medase. Ochna Ibishia. Medase. That was Prince Grona bringing us sports news and sports update. The season starting out, big things about it, and of course, what is going to be. Up next is our health ends, and we will finalize on today's show, the Rise Up Morning Show. Thank you so much if you tune in, and of course, stay tuned for our final segment right here on Radio Guy Online.
Always alright. This is Radio Guy.
I can't believe say I'm coming cool.
Always alright. This is Radio Guy.
Radio Guy Online.
Well, my nigga, they prepare for me. Now, dream, baby, no be good for my head, though. Bug up on it, you better me. Minya baby, I know one thing just to cool down my head, oh. So, no, the baja is a mine. The bottom, you sum to me, come and janai. Walk up with banana, race, ya shed the piece of same wine. As one can be, so no, can really guy. Ready me down, my Westy. You want me see now, that should be best. I'm a chip up, baby, my best. Me buy and I'm Westy. On the mystic, and now I'm buy. I came up, come on. Right, come on. I can't believe, say I can't be cool. I'm on the side, Mama, you want the best of me, go promise you ain't jamming. Right, cool. I can't believe, say I can't be cool. I'm on the side, Mama, you want the best of me, go promise you ain't jamming. Mama, we miss calls, must send the voice notes.
Always alright. This is Radio Guy. Always alright. This is Radio Guy.
I can't believe say I can't be cool. I'm on the side, Mama, you want the best of me, go promise you ain't jamming.
Always alright. This is Radio Guy. Always alright. This is Radio Guy.
Radio Guy Online.
Friday, Jabolo, all night, Saturday, night, our club. Yabi, Martin, Zeman, short, and the book up. I did shape in out the Bible, the bed of Goffosy, Dallas, so they snap in the bed. It's gas in our new chapel, or Queno, Laboshe, one house,
Radio Guy Online.
This I was so never so bad, I Elusumia, but Jehovah for the body. Never so bad, I Elusumia, get a look in the plastic. Never so bad, I Elusumia, so mommy, I looking at it. But I can do the bar, I then I'm a baba physical. So I'm considered bad, I shall have it with any bar. Was no calling no one was off into Mowanka. Sika Samini to Chapuli, here into Mowanka. I will on it and small apart. I can was an gentleman. Chapuli was school super. Now so my Bessie would do more. Say, I'm a summer pan, a yellow sumia. I be so unia, they be so. I'm a summer pan, a yellow sumia. Wami Duncan as a Maya. I'm a summer pan, a yellow sumia. I would have from way to my friend Jenny. I'm a summer pan, a yellow sumia. From Nabambu, when they would
Radio Guy Online.
Camus of
Radio Guy Online.
Always alright. This is Radio Guy.
Camus of Radio. I saw your milk and wisdom on the no coffee, but the other one, share. Christian, a Muslim, a careful, a softful, a powerful, as I have.
Things fall apart, that is how he calls this one. Almost teased of the year. They just ended VGMA. Today on our health sense of the day, we are discussing the leaves of two powerful fruit that people underestimate in Ghana. All the time we hear eat your fruit, all the time we hear about some of the health benefits of fruit, and how much we should make them part of our daily diet. Now, there are a lot of things that the herbs and leaves, the barks, and even the root of some of these trees of the fruit we enjoy do. We always think of the fruit being the sweetest part, and we forget about these things. I will be sharing with you the most powerful ingredients that every woman should have in her kitchen or should have as part of her diet every morning with you. It's going to be difficult to understand some of these things because it is not part of our daily lifestyle. But those who know make good use of them. And today I will be talking basically to our ladies about some of the ways to make you fertile, some of the ways to also treat fallopian tube block or to help relieve you of cyst. Now, there is also one thing that our men will be taking out of it on how to treat low sperm count naturally. Now, some of these remedies that I share with you are not aimed at giving you an all-round treatment, or they are not aimed at stopping you from going to the hospital to get treatment, but to help you understand that all our problems that we do have, nature has a beautiful way to blend the two together